Alright guys, how is it going today? So it's now October the 23rd. It's a Wednesday, about 2 p.m. Central Standard Time here. And as promised, I'm going to give you guys a second technical analysis video today because Bitcoin has capitulated much more than we thought. So I hope you guys have protected yourself. So, one of the most common questions that I get on Twitter is this. Philicon, how do I stop myself from basically turning a small loss into a catastrophic one? Or the second one would be something like, how do I prevent myself from losing all of my profits in one single trade, even though I'm 120? Well, answer is pretty simple, right guys? The answer is sticking to your stop loss. That's how you prevent a small loss into turning into a catastrophic one. And that only comes with experience. And I always talk about the discipline required to trade, right? So the discipline required for trading also relates to the discipline required for sticking to your stop loss. Don't mind if you're hearing a little bit of sounds in the background, etc. I've got company here that's working on my house a little bit. I actually decided to put the chart today on the big TV. This way I can follow the 10-minute chart there a little bit easier. And I do expect another wave down, unfortunately, because this is just not fitting my criteria quite yet of entering a trade. So first of all, before we go into the technical analysis, I just want to remind you guys this, okay? If you guys have not taken a look at any of my trades, go to Trading Live Series for Philicon's list, okay? I actually started compiling all of it, and I put into one really awesome, video one for you guys here. And you guys should definitely go over it, because last year when I traded publicly for you guys, I made, I think like 120,000 American trading live. So yeah, go through them. You guys will see me play with some crazy sizes, right? If you guys remember, I was trading up to like, I don't know, I was trading like up to 250,000 American, right, for some trades when I was in Montreal in France. So please, please guys, I spent a lot of time compiling this list for you. So go onto my YouTube, type in Trading Live Series, and if you guys haven't gone through this, I made it for you guys, right? I don't benefit in any way whatsoever. It is just for you guys. So go over that. And then now we're gonna go over CoinMarketCap, okay? CoinMarketCap has capitulated, and I'll show you guys how to read this if you don't know already. Go to CoinMarketCap, okay, and then go to the market cap right here, and then change it to a daily chart, okay? You can click right here for a daily chart, and what you see is this right here, that around 7 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, you're getting they're electricians, so don't mind the sound here. They're just testing a few things, okay? So we see here around 7:30 in the morning, we're at $216 trillion for the overall market cap. And then within 4 hours, we actually ended up dipping to a low of $202 trillion. Now we're starting to stabilize slightly at about 205. But my point is, guys, we lost about 8%. 8% is fairly substantial. So imagine if Bitcoin dropped whatever it did drop, okay? We're going to go over other alts as well. But before we do that, we're going to go over the 24-hour volume. For those that don't know, what you got to do is click on the 24-hour volume. Notice we're at $21.8 billion right now for a 24-hour volume. We dropped 7.9%, guys, okay? That's really substantial in my opinion. So, like I always mention, if Bitcoin drops 8%, you can easily expect a direct correlation by a multiplying factor of other coins, okay? So, for example, Bitcoin drops 8%. Other coins may drop 8 times a factor, or it might times 8 times a factor of that, and it's usually much greater, right? So we see that we were leveling off 14 billion, 15 billion, 13 billion, 15.5 billion, 15.8 billion, 16.8 billion. And then today, all of a sudden, we're at $22 billion. That's $4 billion increase in less than 24 hours, which is a 25% surge in capitulation for when it was dropping. So how am I right now? I'm fairly bearish, okay? Actually, you know what? Today, I will say that my bias is neutral to bearish. And tomorrow, it's probably going to be bearish. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Because when I'm comparing this specific structure of about this range right here to... You guys like my new text message sounds, huh? It's a minion saying that. Oh, geez, I'm getting some weird messages from people right now that I don't even know, which makes me wonder how they got my number, because my number is very private. So anyways, guys, oh, by the way, on another note, thank you very much, guys. You guys are getting me much closer to 100,000 followers. I know I've got way more than that, but it's an inside joke, obviously, right? I just can't wait to drop back to 100,000 on Twitter, because then this way I'll actually weed out all the people that are not worth my time or your time. And there are a lot of trolls that we do not want to feed in any way, right? And then, by the way, guys, did I tell you about my heating situation? I don't have heat in the main room, and it's almost -5. Actually, today is going to -2. Next week it's going to -5. So I just got the electrician here, Ryan. He's here to fix my heat. So I'm very excited about that, to actually have heat. So guys, without further ado, let's get into this technical analysis that's been long overdue. I gave you guys a small sample earlier this morning, and it actually was amazing, right? It actually was beautiful that we actually saw that drop in real time, which is very rare for us to see it. So now I'm seeing a lot of WXY's kind of formations going on, maybe WXYZ. So we'll see how this ends up playing out, okay? And just to give you guys an example right now of my particular count for this, I'm going to get into a lot of detail because I've thought about this so long and so hard. And this is now my official count, okay? So my official count will be like this. I see this right here as an ABC, okay? And this extended 1 to 1. And I see this as well as an ABC in the formation. But it is so difficult for me to actually call this a B's wave when I think about it, because it doesn't really fit the criteria of it, right? I mean, if you think about the wave formations here, if that was ABC, and this in particular right here is the start of the origin. So when you're using an Elliott wave combination, okay, start with the origin point there, and then go to the next C point where the W begins, okay? So what this refers to, the W, is where the initial impulse wave begins. So then when you go to W to X right there, think of X as the point of failure, right? For usually an impulse wave up, and that's how I'm going to read it right here. And then now we're hunting for a Y, right? And this Y is incredibly difficult to pinpoint right now. It is such a complicated structure that it's going to take a little bit of dissecting. But before we get into this official count, let me show you guys the power of the market and how a sentiment can easily change like that. No doubt in my mind, we were bullish, guys, okay? How many days have I been talking about it now? Very bullish count that we had overall. And then you take a look at this one histogram peak right there. This one histogram peak right here, it looked like it was going to go to the upside, to the positive side, right? But it didn't whatsoever. I'm getting a new baseboard heater. It's actually beautiful to see in action right now. So this right here looks like it was going to go to the upside. And as soon as we were going to get to the upside, what ended up happening was capitulation. This candle right here implied very heavily that the bears decided to take over, and over 1,000 Bitcoin was actually unleashed in the market. That's a lot of money, guys. That's how much money is that right now? $80 million or something like that? Yeah, $80 million on Bitfinex alone was dumped in about 5 minutes. So you can easily see that the bulls are trying to push it to the top, but the bears actually just decided to say, you know what, we're going to trap all these bulls and we're going to short the market really hard and do market sell-offs. And then they're going to put limit orders up on the asking side to drive down the price. And they spoof the market because, unfortunately, the wild, wild west is still here for crypto, right? So you can easily see that, wow, it's just amazing to watch. Not only that, if you take a look at the weekly as well, okay? The weekly right here, right? It looked like we were kind of leveling off a little bit. But now we're just steamrolling through this right now. And it's a pretty strong steamroll, but I expect us to maybe find some sort of resist or support right around now or very soon, okay? So now if you look at the weekly chart right here, the weekly chart had a beautiful chance. Okay, I'll draw it yellow because I'm just extending it right now. The weekly one right there had a chance to actually stay above here, right? So we had this yellow moving average, and we thought that weekly was bouncing above the 55 EMA. But clearly, it wasn't even close to bouncing at the 55 EMA. Well, I did it for a few times, right? I turned up my volume a little bit on the microphone, so I apologize if it got a little bit louder. I hope that the volume is more than sufficient, okay? So we were holding here for 28 whole days, which is a very long time. But unfortunately, the bulls just decided to say, you know what, we can't do this anymore. We're going to let the bears take over. So the bears ended up taking over, and think of it as a constant tension between the bulls and the bears always, and that's what ends up happening. So now we ended up breaking well below the 55 exponential moving average, and we're now down to $7,815, which is where we should have tried to stay to maintain a bullish sentiment, but instead we ended up capitulating all the way down, guys, to a low of $7,335. Okay, that is that is quite a low, in my opinion. Okay, and I also mentioned this right here. Check this out. That if something does happen, there's a very strong chance for us to bounce in this particular region right now. And the reason for that is because of here. Okay, you got here, you got here, you got here, you got here. These things are all very relevant support regions where there were lots of volume. Anytime there's a lot of volume, in my opinion, I think that there's a very strong probability of a bounce. But I still think that there's one more wave down. So let's get back to the original count. We got this one here, W, X, and we got a Y, okay? Y somewhere, we're searching for it. Now, if I were to break down this particular structure even more, I gotta try to isolate this somehow, okay? I gotta try to isolate this structure right now, somehow.
Text message.
Okay, so take a look at here for a second, okay? So I cannot break this down to an A, B, C. I literally cannot, no matter what I have tried. It's a very difficult count for me. And I'm talking about this region right here, okay, guys? Let me talk to you about what I'm referring to. So if that is the first wave going to the upside, okay, then I'm just consider this right here the third wave right there, okay? That's probably the third wave. The fourth wave, we trace a little bit more. And I'll unfortunately have to call this right here probably the B, or the very truncated fifth wave, because the third wave drove down incredibly hard. Something like that right there, okay? So if I did that, then the ABC is really, really wonky, like that. Because that's the only way I can actually draw it, okay? There's no other way I can really do this right now. And this barely subdivides accordingly as well, okay? Because here, the A, here, this makes an A, I don't know, a B, a C perhaps, or a 3-3 wave, right? Or 3-3-3 wave, you know what I mean? So if that's not the actual count as well, then what? Does this one go end up down to there? And then we get the B going to the upside here? I don't know about that, right? Because this one here, this fourth wave is very difficult, or the fifth wave coming down is very difficult to subdivide as well. Whereas 1, 2, right? If this goes 1, 2, and this 3, and is that 4, and that's 5, well, then you think of proportionality, and then you say to yourself, well, if this one here corrected with such a small wave, there's no way that the fourth wave would be that big. It just makes absolutely no sense. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe this one is it, where it makes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perhaps, right? So this one could be the end right there. That's the A, B, C. But for now, we're just going to have to do it on the higher time frame. Let's do it like, for example, in a 6-hour chart. So we don't have to break down every single sub-wave, just the way it is, okay? So the way that I'm looking at this, once again, is this is the ABC structure right here. And now we get an ABC going to the upside, where this makes the X. And the reason why I call this an ABC going to the upside right there is because that is a 3-wave structure. And I have no other way to call it right now. So this is the W right there. And now we're searching for the Y, of course, right? So yeah. 1, 2, 3, maybe this is 4 and 5, or it could even be over here perhaps, okay? So if I go to like a 2-hour chart, that could be 1, and that could be 2, and that could be 3, and that could be 4, and that could be 5. But the only logic I can argue against this right now, if this is 1, and that's 2, and that's 3, and that's 4, and that's 5, or this is 5, or this is 5 right here, is this particular 5-wave structure again, right? I can't count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because the wave 2 and the wave 4 is really unproportional. And I don't know any other way to count it. Therefore, we will have to do the best that we can and deduce it based on the information that we have, and perhaps use other methods of deduction to see what the market is actually doing. So for now, folks, this is the best I can give you, okay? This is the best I can give you regardless of how we break it down. This particular section right now is a 5-wave structure. It's almost irrefutable. that this is a 5-wave structure, okay? I mean, we got the leading first wave diagonal right there, and then we get the wave correcting to the downside there, and then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And then we come down 1 there, with ABC truncated, and the 5th wave to the top side. So it's very difficult to count that as an ABC corrective wave to the upside, okay? But I have to for now, okay? And let's just say I call this my 5th wave. Therefore, I can call this here an A, B, C structure there to the upside, because the B is actually falling shorter than the 3rd wave and the 5th wave, which happens sometimes, okay? Sometimes the B wave can be much higher than the 5th wave, even in a bullish rally. But this happens to be in a bearish market. Okay, now that we've isolated this particular section and demarcated it, we're actually going to try to count this now, okay? So now we got this as A, okay, as A basically, and B. Let's just remove all of these annotations over here. And I'm really itching to get in a trade today, guys. I'm going to trade pretty big today, probably over 20,000 American. And I just want to make a good 2-3% profit today, and I'm going to start trading a little bit bigger. Not like my old days, where, you know, I don't think I have that confidence anymore to trade a 250,000 American. I almost like, when I'm not quite there yet to make 6-figure trades this year. I think I'm still recovering from last year, if you know what I'm talking about, with my ex and stuff like that. And right now it's around the Christmas season, so I'm not really in 1000% trading mode. I'm more so in the mode of telling my friends what kind of presents to buy me for Christmas. We're doing Secret Santa, $5,000 presents for everybody. So last year was pretty epic. I did buy a lot of people pretty cool presents though. So guys, anyways, let's not get off on a tangent. You guys are incredibly distracting sometimes. So if I'm calling this my ABC with a W there, and that's an X right there, then where the hell is my Y? Oh, excuse me for saying the H word there. So then I'm going to call this ABC. So I originally thought for a moment that this was going to make an identical 1-to-1 extension. And we're all like, yeah, 1-to-1 extension, Fibonacci, bro. Right? Pretty awesome. But unfortunately, it just didn't pan out the way we wanted it to. In fact, we ended up getting a massive drop to the downside. And it was fairly obvious, in my opinion, okay? Because we just couldn't break anything above that. And if you actually look at the... Is it the 21 moving average, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong, this orange one. Yeah, this is the 21 exponential moving average. Notice this silly resistance, right? 3 bars of resistance of 3 days. 3 bars of resistance of 3 days. So bam, the next one capitulated. Where was the short entry? The short entry was simple. You draw yourself your support line like that coming to the upside, right? Or that slope support line. And the moment that we see this breaking below there, well, that's your short entry, okay? Actually, your short entry could even be on a 5-minute time frame, right? This was really, really hard to see. But if you guys go down to a lower time frame, for example... I don't know, let's say you caught it on a 3-minute time frame, even a 1-minute time frame, you could have caught it if you guys were quick enough, right? And you just see it kind of falling below the line, falling below, and then bam, this one candle, guys. I can't even imagine how many people lost money in here. We are talking about 1.15 thousand Bitcoin sold, okay? How much money was that for the people that were in along on Bitfinex alone? 1,150 multiplied by... what was the price then? Which is average out to 8,000. Bam! Almost $10 million, guys. Oh, that really hurts in a 1-minute candle. What kind of drop did we get? We ended up getting a 3% drop. So think of other coins that dropped as well. They probably dropped 6 to 8%, which means in 1 minute, if you were playing a $100,000 position, you just lost yourself 8 grand right there. Which is funny, right? For my sizes that I used to play, I could have lost a whole engineering salary in 1 single minute. So good thing I'm not playing with these types of sizes now, right? I'm glad that you guys are not either. If you are in a very volatile market for whatever coin you're trading, if you're uncomfortable, don't trade with that particular size, because you're just going to end up screwing yourself over, okay? Always trade a comfortable size that you are willing to lose. If you're playing for the greed and for the profit, you're not trading for the right reasons. You got to trade to make the right trades. And when you make the right trades, the bonus of the profit, it just becomes a bonus, right? So once again, look for good trades, and the bonus, the profit is a bonus of the good trades. But if you're trading just for profit, you might do risky things where your greed and your fear might be exposed or taken advantage of. You might be trading with sizes that you haven't earned the privilege to trade yet with, right? Do you guys remember this video of mine, man? Right? Remember this? You guys gotta take a look at it, okay? If you haven't seen it, okay? I'm actually gonna play it for you guys. Want to hear this? I just want to give you guys solid advice.
But the only reason I'm making these types of profits is because I have more money than some people to play with in the market. This makes me laugh, okay? I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my family life. My parents, we come from the third poorest country in the world called Laos, or back then it was at least.
I'll be right back and grab some water.
Super poor country. You can't even imagine how poor it was, guys. Where they saved up their entire life savings, which was $2 at that time. $2 was a lot of money to them. That took them 3 months to save up, just so they could actually hire someone from Laos to smuggle them outside of the country to Thailand, where they lived on a refugee camp for 5 years. Where I was born, in a refugee camp. That's right, okay? And I lived there for a year, and then we finally got our immigration papers to come to Canada. Right? And I vowed ever since I got older to take care of my parents because I remember where I come from. And I remember what my family and my parents did for me to get me to where I am today, which is in a safe country with breathable air, where I feel alive, where I have food, where I have shelter, where it has instilled values, okay guys, that I will never have, that I never would have had if I grew up over there, okay? So do I really have more money than you guys, or do I have more heart than you guys, okay? Ask yourself that. Do I have more money or do I have more heart? Because all I'm hearing lately are excuses why you guys think you can't make it.
Okay, my point of this video to show you guys is this, okay? I should probably not smoke on camera for you guys, but my reasoning for this is that you cannot play large positions until you have earned that privilege. Until you have earned that privilege, then you got to play with small sizes so you can actually be very comfortable with the losses that you make. Remember that every time you lose a trade, it is the tuition that you are directly putting in. I'm going to resume this video in a few minutes because I have company here. Okay, guys, I'll be back in about 5 minutes, but it's only going to be 1 second for you guys, okay? Alright, sorry about that. I just had to walk the gentleman out because, yeah, heater is working good now, so I'm actually feeling very, very happy that I have heat in the house. You guys don't understand the feeling of living in Manitoba, Canada, and being worried about heat, right? Okay, so without further ado, let's continue this. So now we're searching for an ABC, right? And there's no other choice right now but to basically call that a B, right? Or something like that. Or maybe that an A, or that an A. Either way, it will fit my criteria for now, okay? So the way that I'm looking at this now is two different ways. Do we actually have a super small X failed wave here in between the B to the C here, right? Is that possible? And then we got to try to isolate this to 5 particular waves coming to the downside, okay? So the way that I'm seeing this as well is like this. I will count this right here as my 1, and this would be A, B, C right there, okay? So that'll be my second wave. And this one is very, very tight. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 perhaps, down over here. 1, 2, once again, 3, 4, and 5 right here, okay? Like that. And I will call this right here my 4, and now I am heavily searching for a 5 coming to the downside, okay? That is what I'm looking for right now. And the way that I'm seeing this is an ABC like that. ABC, okay? Or it could even, could that be that? Yeah. Or, it's very difficult, this count, you know? Yeah, okay, so we'll keep it like this for now, right? And then if this were the particular case, now we're trying to search for the 5 waves. So if I were to isolate this further, I would have to say that this is actually the 1, 2, and then this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, sorry. This would be 1, that's 2, that's 3, That's 4, and that's 5 perhaps, like this, okay? Okay, now we're gonna go to a lower time frame to see if this could actually be a valid count. So now, if this is 1 and then A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 4 there, this is 5 here, then that means that we're searching for the A, B, C to the upside there. And this will actually end up fitting the count very nicely, actually, okay? So then we get ourselves the A, B, C going to the upside here, okay? And watch me deduce this for you guys, where it's gonna be like, wow, it's actually looks like it's right, okay? So now if we do like that, we can easily count the 5 waves in here as well. It's pretty sloppy, but it can be done, right? And then here we get the 5 waves from the B to the C to the upside, where we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the big 5 to the upside there. And now this is either the 5th wave coming down, right? Or the C could even be there, right? Where it goes 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. So if this were the particular case right now, therefore, if this is the 3rd biggest wave coming down, then we're going to get a retracement to the upside and then finally finish to the downside for the 5th wave. So this is the only way that I can actually deduce this right now. And I don't think that we're going to break below here. We're probably going to get a truncated one. We'll get some sort of retracement today. I think we're going to get a retracement to... Today, I don't know actually. I'm not quite that confident. But if we do get a retracement, obviously we're going to try to challenge the 8K again, right? Maybe not that high, but most likely we'll get some sort of fib structure retracement of it. So if we get a fib structure replacement of it, or sorry, retracement of it, we're probably going to end up retracing to maybe 7.8 about. Yeah, maybe 7 point, maybe even higher. Maybe even to the 7.7, 7.8K ranges. And I'm going to be expecting a truncated 5th to finish the 5 waves. So right now what I am looking for is an entry, okay? I'm looking for an entry to see what type of retracement this one right here will get. I need it to come down first, one more time. I need it to come down to about 7,400 ranges, 7,450 ranges, because then this way, I'm going to look for some pattern, right? I'm going to look for, let's say it gets to here, and then, you know, then I know that that's going to be the ABC to the upside. Just as an example, I'm talking about something like that, okay? And for here, and maybe we'll get up to 7.6, maybe we'll get up to 7.65, maybe we'll get up to 7.8. But either way, I'm searching for this ABC coming down first. And ideally, I would love to see it around here, okay? Around 7.4K. This is where I'll be adding 25% of my position. And then if this holds true, I'm just going to enter 25% of my position here. And then my RR will be fairly decent, actually. Okay, let's say I entered right around here. I'll stop myself out at about, I'm going to say 1%, okay? 1%, and I'll target right here about 7.6, which is the 0.382 fib retracement level right there, okay? And then, yeah, 7.6, but of course, I'm gonna see if it breaks above here, and I'll add a little bit more to my position up here, right, around 7.5, and that's still a pretty decent scalp to me, even from the 7.5 ranges, okay? So from here to there, it's still about a 1% where I'll be adding, so 25% down there, and then maybe 75% upon this breakout up there. And of course, I'm going to take about 50% of my profits at the 382 range right here. And if we end up breaking above it, I'm going to add more to my position and just manage it and see if we can get to the 7.8 level. So those are my thoughts, guys, for today's technical analysis. The bullish side is that we get a retracement, okay? We get a retracement above 7.4K, and we'll shoot for between 7.6K and 7.8K. And the bearish side, of course, is that we're not even close to done these particular waves. We completely break down below the 7.35 ranges. Excuse me. Right, so take a look at this. I want to show you guys as well. Right here. This is all the way from May of 2019, right? So this particular range right here, support, okay? All of this range right here is support. So are we just going to break down below it? Maybe, maybe not. But if we do, folks, okay, this will be the interim resistance, or support rather, right around here probably. I'm guessing this next low, which is above 7K. So if we break below this particular one right now, okay, this is a major support right now, I'd say. If we break below it, right, we're probably going to end up shooting for around the 7K to 7.2K ranges as a support. So right now, all that I'm looking for is to see what kind of volume we're going to get. But right now, what I'm seeing with 6 minutes left is actually a hammer candle on a 4-hour chart. Isn't that amazing, guys, how many Bitcoin were sold off? 7.85 thousand Bitcoins were sold off there. So we take 7.85 thousand. 7,800 times, we'll say just average price of 77.50, about $60 million of Bitcoin was sold off on Bitfinex alone, which is a significant amount. So now, guys, I'm waiting hard to see what's going on right now, to see if we're going to get a retracement. This is a major trend line to me right now, okay? I don't think we're going to go all the way back up there to 8K to test it, but I do think 7.6 to 7.8 is very viable. And if we don't hold at the 7.5, 7.4 ranges, I'll see you guys between 7 to 7.2K. And the best way to gauge this that I personally use is just to see price action, right? I look at the level 2 and I clearly try to identify walls that are hidden there and just try to see which way the tidal wave on the level 2 orders are going. Which sides are stacking up more in the bids, which sides are stacking up more in the asks. So yeah, so those are my thoughts for both the bearish and the bullish side. And I'll keep you guys updated most likely tonight as well. So have yourselves a great day, baby whales. Thank you very much for joining me for this afternoon technical analysis as well. And for the people that are still interested in it, go check it out, guys. Go check out these amazing t-shirts of mine. 10% of the profits will be donated to a no-kill shelter, and the other 90% will be reinvested right back into shirts to give away for the holiday season. Some people are saying that they're incredibly soft, incredibly comfortable, and they're loving it. And these people look great rocking it as well. So if you guys do get it, make sure you send me a photo and show me how happy you are. So have yourselves a great day. Thank you very much for all the love and the support. And guys, if you love these videos that I'm making, I usually don't see this, but give me a thumbs up. Give me a like if you're enjoying these videos and they have helped you in one way or another. So have yourselves a great day. Take care now. Bye.